When I was a kid, I was a web designer. And when I got older, I did summer boot camps to learn how to code. I did Java, JavaScript, Ruby, Python. I went through it all, and ultimately I failed. So I recognized that I just hit too many blockers, and I didn't have some kind of tutor or educator to help me, learn all this stuff. And today, English is now code. There's this phrase that English is the new programming language. What we can do is go to Bolt.new, and then we can type in an application to create for ourselves. So I can say, create a P5.js drawing application to make designs in the browser. This is going to be my application. And I hit enter. What Bolt is going to do with StackBlitz in the back end is give me on the left-hand side a chat interface to actually create applications in English. And then on the right-hand side, it's going to give me both a preview of the code and of the actual design. So right now what it does is it takes my prompt, it breaks it down into a series of steps, and then it uses those steps and their platform to generate all of this code. And all of this code is for a React app. It's written in Next.js. And what we're going to do is then host this using their platform. So as you can see, it's going through all of the steps here on the left-hand side, and it's running it through to create me this application. In the code, it's created all of the file structure for this project, and it's doing it all in React. It's importing a canvas component, a toolbar. There's some functions here that it's creating, and we get an error for this React project. So normally you can just click, fix now, but you can actually just copy and paste the bug, hit enter, and then what's going to happen is Bolt is actually going to debug this. It's going to analyze the error and improve the code and rework the code base so that it actually functions. So the goal is getting it live into completion. So this just proves you don't need to know any programming. You need to know a little bit about how software development works, or how the framework that you're using actually helps you build an application. So the front end, the back end, is there a database? Are there any APIs? These things are actually relatively simple to learn as a principle. What you may struggle with is the actual programming syntax or the language and all of the rote repetition and work it takes to actually get that up and running from zero. So we have a few more problems here. We're going to ask what they are. So we have an overview, and then we're going to attempt to fix. And this is kind of the AI coding or the AI engineer process. You have an IDE that works for you with an agent inside, writing all of this code and executing it. And then whenever you hit any errors, you can actually use those to interact back with the IDE and hope that you can solve the issue. So here we've run into a few problems, and we're learning, how to improve and how this whole system functions together just by interacting with it. So here we are. So as someone who is non-technical, I didn't learn how to code from scratch. I can now create an entire application using Bolt.new, and here I have a fully functioning app that is for me to use and play with and adapt and improve on. So there's no excuse for hitting any blockers with coding nowadays. Anybody can create software or programs that are personalized or available as individual projects or startups. I want to take this one step further. So I want to deploy this application. Maybe I made it for family and friends, and I just want us to fool around. So I can just click on deploy, and then what it's going to do is deploy my application to Netlify, and it's going to build this, and then it'll supply me with a link. With that link, I can then share it to anybody I like and use the application on a standalone interface. Wow. What do you think? Is this inviting more people into programming? Are we going to see the death of programmers? Or are we going to have a new class of engineer altogether?